Hey loves, welcome back to the Change Your Life series. Before we jump into the meat of this series, first I just want to talk about how important it is to really know yourself. Why is self-knowledge such a huge topic even within philosophy? The ancient Greek philosophers, um, ancient cultures were often very deeply concerned with self-knowledge. And now as we move into this time where Pluto is moving into Aquarius, we're already in the Aquarian age, self-knowledge is going to become even more important than it has been over the past years. And so what I often say and what I often include in my teaching materials is you must know yourself to be yourself. And so anytime we're talking about authenticity, which is a word that I hear quite often these days, we also have to have a basis or a foundation of self-knowledge. You cannot live your truth if you don't know what it is. You cannot stand in your truth if you're not aware of it. I watched a video of a retreat where a woman announced she's standing more in her truth. And inside I thought, but ask her, what is that truth? But the question never came. The question never came, okay, wow, wonderful, but what is your truth? Share it with us. Let us be a part of that wisdom. And so when we go out and when we assert that we're standing in our truth, one thing that's going to be absolutely important is to be sure that we're aware of it, that we know what that truth is, and that we feel not only mentally connected to it, but really intrinsically, deeply, innately connected to that truth. And one way we can do that is through philosophy. Philosophy is really a method of asking questions, really getting closer to one's truth and then expressing that truth. That's essentially the basis of it. And so what I want to do with this series is for us to come together and really do our own kind of inquiry that will allow us to get closer to our truth, get deeper in our truth, and to be able to live it authentically, yes, authentically, but also unapologetically, because that's really the point that's important to me is, okay, am I living my truth authentically and then coming home and then thinking about it over and over again? Did I do that right? Did I say that right? Should I have done that differently? No, we want to do it compassionately, but at the same time, unapologetically. We don't want to rip ourselves apart, tear ourselves apart, question whether or not it was okay for us to be so this way or be so that way. Instead, we want to live it with kind of a sovereign energy, an energy where we know we acted compassionately, because when you act with compassion, then you can't do anything wrong. Did I act with diplomacy? Did I act with tact? So as long as we're coming from a space where we're not doing harm to others, we can really live this authenticity in a way where we do not have to constantly put ourselves in a situation where we're coming back and then questioning ourselves. And then that strong foundation that we just made the effort to build up is being piece by piece taken apart by our insecurity. That's what we want to avoid. And that's why we want to make sure that the foundation we build up is strong, so that when we stand on it, should a storm come, we do not waver. We're like that tree by the water that is fed. I think like they say in the Bible, the tree by the water, is just calm, and all of the nutrients, everything it needs is coming to the tree. The tree is pulling it in. So when there's a drought, it does not suffer, because what it needs has already, been coming to it. This is what I would like to offer you through this series and through this work together. You must know yourself to be yourself. And I think this is an opportunity to really discover all of the hidden gems that you have within you. And many of us, just to connect this to astrology, because I do read astrological charts all the way from the birth chart to the progress chart and the solar return chart. And one thing I've learned on this astrological journey is that we are a culmination of experiences. So it's not just this lifetime that's influencing our behaviors, but also past lifetimes. And often we're a part of this collective unconscious where we have access to deep wisdom. And we also have access to deep wisdom within that's coming from experiences over long spans of time. But how do you tap into that inner wisdom? How do you connect to your intuition? These are the things that I really want us to take the opportunity to connect to together. And one way you do that is through philosophy, this method of asking questions, this method of going within, getting centered within the self, loving this idea of wisdom, but also self-knowledge. And so we're moving into the next episode where we get deep into our values. Values are particularly important because they often inform the decisions we make. And a lot of people struggle with decision making. They go back and forth and back and forth. And then once they've made a decision, they ask themselves, was that the right decision? Our values can really help us to get clear on the decisions we make. They can give us a strong foundation. So before I get too much into it, let's go into the next episode where we can really begin to understand, what are my values? What is it that motivates me? What is it that gives me that first layer of stability in my foundation? So remember to like and subscribe so that you, so that you're always informed on what's coming next. And let's go on over to the next video. See you there.